Welcome back, focused learners, to another explainer. Let's just jump right into it today because we are tackling one of the most frustrating, high-stakes mysteries you'll ever face in the financial markets. We're going to look at what happens when a market breaks a key level and ask that absolutely crucial question. Is this breakout the real deal, or are we just being set up?
Look, we have all been there, right? You're watching a chart, you're waiting for that perfect setup, suddenly the price just slices right through a critical support level. Your heart rate immediately jumps. Do you sell? Do you hold off? This isn't just an analytical problem. It is a full-on psychological battle. Being successful here means mastering both your timing and your risk the moment the market decides to test one of these major levels.
Because, and this is so important, building a successful position isn't just about guessing the right direction. It's really about navigating your own conviction against the market's total uncertainty. It's about spotting the difference between a trap designed specifically to trigger your stop loss and a genuine, highly probable opportunity. To actually decode this, we need to take a hard look at the mechanics of price action. Section 1. Defining the battlefield. Market mechanics. Okay, let's dive into this. To really grasp what's going down when a market breaks, we have to lay down some ground rules about how this all actually works. Markets are not casinos. They operate as highly structured two-way auctions. The auctioneer is basically just moving the price up and down, asking the room, hey, any buyers down here? Any sellers up there? Now, when the market moves way too fast, it leaves behind these gaps, incomplete areas where barely any trading happens. And these gaps, they act like massive magnets for price. But before price can get sucked into that gap, it has to break the previous lows. And here is the real secret. Those prior lows are absolutely loaded with stop loss and breakout orders. It's just massive pools of resting liquidity sitting there waiting to be triggered. So, to navigate this minefield, we need objective tools. The first one is the value area low, or VAL. Think of the value area as the market's comfort zone, where roughly 70% of the day's trading volume happens. The VAL is simply the bottom floor of that comfort zone. If price drops below the VAL, it's stepping out of bounds.
Our second tool is the point of control, the POC. Out of all the trading that happened in a given session, this is the one specific price level where the absolute most volume occurred. It's literally the session's center of gravity. We are going to use this POC later to figure out if the market is actually shifting its gravity or if it's just teasing us.
Section 2. Acceptance versus rejection. Fake out or shift?
Now that we've got our definitions down, we need to unpack the difference between a fake out and a true shift in market value. Honestly, this is the whole core of our analysis today. You have to recognize the difference between a liquidity sweep and a developing auction. A liquidity sweep is the trap. The price dips below support just long enough to trigger all those resting stop-loss orders we talked about, scoops up that sweet liquidity, and then violently reverses right back up. A developing auction, though, that is true acceptance. The price drops below support, and the market collectively says, actually, you know what, we like it down here, and value genuinely begins to migrate downward.
So how do we actually validate which one is happening in real time? Well, we use this super simple three-step technique. Step 1, price probes below key support. What do? Nothing. You just watch. Step 2, you wait to see if sustained trading activity actually develops beneath that break. Step 3, and this is the absolute clincher right here, you watch to see if the value area low itself migrates below that original support line. We are not reacting to the first tick. We are demanding hard evidence of true market acceptance.
Section 3. Charting opportunity. Applying the framework.
Now, what's really interesting is when we apply this exact framework to a real chart. We're looking at the E-mini Dow Jones futures on a 4-hour time frame here. Let's play detective for a second. Look toward the upper middle area. See that blue line labeled prior week low sitting exactly at 51,743? Now, look right below it. See that wide empty space labeled open gap? That is our massive magnet. If the market accepts value below that 51,743 level, that huge open gap is just staring right at us, begging to be filled.
But look what happens right at that prior week low. We get what we call the teaser Dow. The price poked its head below that 51,743 level, and then aggressive buyers stepped in and pushed it right back up. It completely swept the liquidity. So the million-dollar question, is this just a tease designed to shake out the weak hands, or is it actually the start of a probable move lower? This is exactly where you check to see if your value area low actually migrated beneath that line.
And this brilliantly illustrates the tension of the trade. If, by using our 3 validation steps, We see that value truly is establishing itself below that prior week low, while the market's intention has officially shifted. It has accepted the lower prices. And when that happens, the market naturally targets the lower side of that open gap. The auction just wants to go in and finish the unfinished business left in that empty space.
But where exactly is the target down there? At the very bottom of the gap, you'll see a purple line labeled prior month high and prior month close. They are sitting right around 51,329. Now that is not just a random number on a chart. It is a confluence zone. You've got multiple market references converging in one spot, which means multiple groups of traders are watching this exact same level for entirely different reasons. That makes it a highly logical, extremely high probability objective for a gap fill.
Section 4. Market climate. Finding hidden orders. Of course, we don't have to rely on price action all by itself. We can actually strengthen our thesis by checking the broader market climate and hunting for hidden, unfilled orders that give us an edge. Auto UFOs, which stands for unfilled orders, visually plot out exactly where pending buy and sell orders are resting. A green UFO means there is a big cluster of pending buy orders, so strong potential support. A red UFO, pending sell orders, meaning potential resistance. Remember that confluence zone we just spotted at 51,329 on the Dow chart? It turns out it was backed by a massive green UFO support block, which completely solidifies it as a prime target.
When we synthesize these tools, we elevate our trading from just guessing to actual analysis. We check the auto climate to see if a trend is statistically sustainable or if it's running out of gas. Then we use auto of UFOs to map out exactly where the hidden buy and sell orders are waiting for us. This lets you confirm your main thesis with cold, hard, objective data rather than raw emotion. You literally get to see what most traders completely miss.
Section 5. The Risk Management Rule. The primary variable.
Okay, here's the harsh reality check. No gap is ever guaranteed to fill. Ever. Risk management is the true, absolute primary variable of your success. You have to define your risk before you ever click that buy or sell button. Remember the point of control, the POC we defined earlier? If you enter a short trade because you saw value drop below support, use that POC as your strict line in the sand. If the price climbs back above the POC, your setup is invalid, period. You cut your risk immediately. And you have to keep your position sizing consistent so that one bad trade doesn't completely wipe you out. Your only real goal is to preserve your capital so you can survive to execute across dozens of future opportunities.
Because the ultimate lesson here is incredibly simple, but so hard to master. Markets offer endless opportunities. Capital, however, is finite. Protecting what you have in your account is always, without exception, your #1 priority. The chart will absolutely be there tomorrow, but only if your capital survives today.
So I'm going to leave you with this thought as we wrap things up today. The next time the market pokes below a major low and you feel that adrenaline spike, are you going to react to the tease, or are you going to patiently wait for true acceptance? But more importantly, is your risk discipline going to survive the market's next test? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay focused, stay disciplined out there, and I will see you in the next one.
If our videos help you stay sharp episode after episode, hit pause, like, subscribe, and keep learning. Your support means a lot to us.